Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna be having a match against Drake. This match took place on Smogon, and I believe he was kind of looking for a rematch with me. He told me that, and I felt like, yeah, let's see how it goes. I was kind of looking for a match, and he sort of accepted. So that's how it all started. Anyways, Darmanitan is gonna strike me here. I was gonna lead with Chandelier. In case Darmanitan is elite is a little bit expected, Chandelier is at least not gonna force that Pokemon into going for his most powerful Flare Blitz, so I was kinda expecting like Stone Edge, Earthquake, or the possible U-turn. He may just be Bandit and hit Porygon, maybe Scarf. That's something I was still not too sure. He may have two double Scarfers, but he switches out to Umbreon as I switch out to Hypnotop. Going to my favor, I was pretty sure he's gonna switch out to Gligar, being that it totally was Hypnotop. Like, it literally totally was it now that he does have the immunity to Poison. So I'm gonna make a switch to Azumarill, predict him to switch out to Gligar, and I'm gonna predict him to just stay in and figure that I'm gonna over predict, maybe going for a superpower, predicting Kindra, but I do have the Ice Sponge, getting at least neutral damage on the switch. In this case, I predicted him for me to maybe switch out to something else. Unfortunately, Kindra does switch in. I should have superpower there, but I didn't want to afford to take my risk for him to roost. Not to mention that, yeah, I guess Ice Punch should have been the better choice in general, checking out his team. But I switched out to Hypnotop, checking out his team. I was pretty sure he's physical, but at least I did get the Intimidate. In this case, I'm gonna go for the Close Comet. Getting some damage there from the Waterfall is gonna prove to be useful, because the next Close Comet in here is gonna get a crit. And that one was actually a little bit frightening, and that crit very, very much mattered, because he was a Resto Chesto. Checking out, he didn't have any Life Orb, any leftovers to back him up. I was starting to be scared of him possibly running the Resto Chesto, and he was. So I'm gonna switch out to my Flygon. He's gonna Earthquake, predict me to switch out to Chandler. I was kinda expecting something like that. So I'm gonna U-turn on the Gligar switch, and again switching out to Azumarill to force this Pokemon to switch out, but in this case he's just gonna stay in. Again, who knows, well, actually he doesn't have his Kindra anymore, so I guess he's gonna start to realize that Gligar is just not gonna be suiting him much. But in total respect, I still had two Pokemon that Gligar kinda was, so I'm pretty sure he should have still, well, actually he doesn't have too much safe switches against this Azumarill, because it kinda packs holes with his huge power and all. But Gligar is gonna be taken down. At least he did put up the rocks. It's meant to do those things in general. And I'm gonna switch out to Bronzong after coming in, fearing the Porygon doing something very scary, getting the special attack. I'm gonna switch out to Bronzong, putting up the rocks, seeing the damage, kinda guessing it's not a free hit KO, but then again I may be wrong. He does switch out to Mismagius. I was starting to believe that this is a substitute Mismagius. He's gonna take the opportunity to sub away. I still didn't want to switch out to Azumarill just in case he's got T-Bolt. Not to mention he may be a sub Nasty Plotter. But I'm starting to believe that this is one of those old 4th generation Calm Minders. And you guys know how threatening that thing is. In my personal experiences with this game in 4th generation, Mismagius of those sort, Calm Minding Mismagius, was the most threatening thing in Underuse back then. I always use Abandoned Spiritomb just for that Pokemon alone. It was crazy. I believe I'm gonna use it because of how threatening it was, but not too sure how it actually handles in current meta. Still, we're gonna see. Anyways, Flygon, I was starting to believe, yeah, I guess Shadow Ball was a little bit expected. I should have switched out to preserve my Flygon, but at the end of the day, I've come to realize that he may just sub again, predict me to think that he will not sub again, that I'm just gonna switch out. But yeah, it didn't come down to that. Switch out to Chandelier. I am Scarf, I can easily outspeed him, but I did see this switch coming. I was thinking, well, he may predict Shadow Ball, switch out to Porygon, but Porygon doesn't really appreciate taking Fire Blast, something that Mismagius is kinda neutral to. So I decided to trick and actually lock this Pokemon into one of his moves. Whatever he decides to go for, I'm gonna be fine with it. In this case, he's gonna go for the Foul Play, taking advantage of my physical attack, but I believe I'm timid nature, so I'm minus attack, which is gonna prove to kind of cripple the Foul Play in this case. Still packing up enough power to look like a solid 4 hit if I'm not mistaken. Just gonna go for Air Slash. I did get a minus special defense drop, but I'm kind of banking more on the flinch than banking more in the flinch than everything else, because Sea Flare can probably miss, which he did. and the previous one would have not even taken him out. So I didn't see the point in going for it. Without a crit, I would have not taken him out. When I did go for it, it misses. So, you know, I should have just air slash again, seeing that. But who's gonna predict the miss coming in? Then again, it is Seed Flare, so you should expect it, you know, for those misses to happen one of these days. Anyways, I'm gonna switch out to Hypnotop, and this is one of those turns that I did play very, very nice. I'm gonna go for Toxic. I do know the Synchronize is coming, but I was starting to expect, okay, this is the turn he's gonna switch out to Miss Mages, predict me to either Rapid Spin or Close Combat. I'm gonna Toxic again. That's right, I'm gonna Toxic again. I need this Miss Mages poisoned. It was my Bronzong, it was my Hypnotop. Chandelier, it doesn't have Scarf anymore. But then again, Porygon Scarf can easily outspeed it, so I didn't see much use in that. As long as I can poison his Mages, his fastest Pokemon outside of that Scarfer, I can probably somehow handle it. But this turn, I'm gonna go for the Close Combat, expecting him to switch out to this Umbreon, predicting me to switch out to Bronzong, giving him the opportunity to go for the Heal Bell. Thinking about it, Umbreon normally does outspeed Bronzong, and she was Scarf, so she would have gotten rid of the poison on Miss Mages. So those were some really nice moves on my part. Didn't allow that Umbreon to heal, to play Cleric for a second there. I'm gonna proceed to go to Bronzong after my Pokemon was taken down. Fortunately, Bronzong can still somehow handle to a certain degree. I'm gonna go for the Toxic. I didn't have much else to do, I guess. Like I mentioned, this Pokemon walls me completely. I start to realize my main weakness to my team is Miss Mages. I barely ever face it, so that's the reason I never really thought about it when making this team, but I believe I'm gonna need to do some modifications after this, because really it just brings back memories of how threatening it was. Like half the match is all about Miss Mages. Miss Mages taking all the glory here. Anyway, Shadow Ball, I was trying to rest, and here is where I had a plan. I was trying to wear it down, rest away, and go back to Azumarill, Aqua Jet, take it out, and proceed to go from there. Stealth Rocks would probably even take her out if she would have make a switch. But because he did get a crit on the turn, I did not want him to get a crit. I was really hoping that I can still take 2, which I normally would without a special defense drop. But crit needed to happen one of these days, and that was the turn I really did not want him to get a crit, because I needed that Bronzong for that Porygon. And now I'm gonna go to Chandler to kinda poison and wear this Pokemon down. Porygon can easily outspeed me anyways, not to mention that I have plus 4 in defense, so Porygon is gonna get a special attack raise anyways. So no reason to really, you know, save this this Chandelier for his Porygon. In either way, Azumarill is gonna give Porygon a plus special attack, and Chandelier would have given Porygon a plus special attack. But anyways, he's gonna switch out to Darmanitan. He could have easily switched out to Porygon, but he just decided to make this game a little bit closer. Plus maybe he was testing to see if normally Azumarill's Aqua Jet fails of taking down the Darmanitan. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and here comes his Porygon, the mighty Porygon. I was trying to think that I can somehow handle this, but unfortunately it is still a Porygon and may just be modest on top of it all, and that T-Bolt is going to be enough. Coming down to a 1-0 score, and that was an excellent move. You know, when thinking about it, that crit, I would have rest, like I mentioned, I would have switched back. Having Porygon kind of like a bait, coming in, taking some T-Bolts, and then proceed to wake up, go for Earthquake, and then proceed to go for Aqua Jet. Maybe that would have been enough with the help of Stealth Rocks. But unfortunately, one crit for another. I guess it was kind of fair because of Dragon Dance and Kingdra. As you may have seen, my team is designed. Kingdra was a big threat, and getting a close combat crit on that Kingdra was definitely a relief, and I guess one crit for another, making it a fair game and an excellent game nonetheless. So, good game to Drake. I believe I will link his YouTube channel in description. Go check him out. And yeah, love to battle you again. See you on Smogon. And that's gonna be it for today. If you guys want to request some Nintendo music, like I mentioned, you know, I'm taking requests, I'm writing you down. To be perfectly honest, I'm kind of picking randomly at the moment. I know I should pick, you know, by order, but I don't know, I just pick whatever I spot first and kind of go from there. But I just want to note, eventually you will have your turn, because I'm focusing on Pokemon Black and White 2. Once Pokemon X and Y comes out on October, I'm going to be focusing on that. So there's lots of battles coming your way, and there's lots of background music. So I want to thank you guys for making my choice of music that much easier now, because I was having a hard time thinking what's a good background music, and now I'm just taking requests from you guys, making my life a bit easier here, because that was taking a lot of my time for some forsake reason I don't even Yeah. Anyways, guys, have a good day. Until next time. Peace.